Good morning, friends. This is one of our first PSA graded Alpha mail days on the channel. Hopefully the first of many. But as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, there are some Alpha PSA cards. Actually, a lot of Alphas up for auction right now. The market is really down, maybe like 20-30% on Alpha cards. So it's a good time to buy and add to your collection. This was a PWCC auction, and we bid on this card and we got it. They have a buyer's premium, so it's probably an additional like 15% maybe that you add on top of the card price. And then they have a vault system where the cards are kept in their vault in Oregon, and you can either keep the cards in the vault or you can have them shipped to you. Shipping is $15 and then they charge you sales tax. So keep in mind, if you're bidding on cards from PWCC auctions, you're going to pay a little bit more than the auction ending price to get the card to your door. Or you could just keep it in the vault, and if you decide to sell it later, they'll list it for you and ship it from Oregon. But it's packed really well in this bubble mailer. There's another bubble mailer inside here. So we've got super secure packaging, and we have a few PSA graded cards in our collection. This is the first one. They put a little auction label on the back of it so you can check it out with the cert number. This is an older holder. You can tell because it's sort of like a sandwich. There's like two pieces of the holder are sonically welded together in the middle. This, you can also tell it's an older holder based on where the number is on the grading line. This is Gem Mint 10, all on the same line. The next version of the flip had the number down on the set line. So, but this holder is in great shape. It's obviously not been like handled or shuffled around very much. But this card is an Alpha Magic the Gathering Fire Elemental. There were four elemental cards in the original Alpha set. There is this beautiful Fire Elemental. There is Air Elemental. There is Earth Elemental and the Water Elemental. We've seen a few of those cards in our Alpha decks, like the budget deck. We maybe have the Water Elemental in that deck. This art is by Melissa Benson. She did the art on this card. Air Elemental was by Richard Thomas. Earth Elemental was by Dan Frazier. And Water Elemental was by Jeff Menges. So this card is in absolutely mint, gem mint condition. There's a slight flip on the corners from Alpha. PSA goes by eye appeal, is how they kind of grade cards that are mint, near mint, gem mint. So from a distance, this card looks perfectly centered. Corners are perfectly flat, minus the little, Alpha flip, which helps authenticate them as being Alpha cards. And the surface is pristine. There's no dents or scuffs on either side, front or back. This came directly out of probably a starter deck. And it went right into a PSA holder and into someone's set. And then they did a set break last month. And this is the one that we bid on. So I think there are collectors that maybe have just collect the elemental cards, fire, air, earth, and water. I wouldn't say that we're elemental collectors, but we needed this for our set. We had a PSA 9 fire elemental. There are 13 copies of this card in PSA 9 holder, and there were only 7 copies in a PSA 10 holder. So this is one of 7 copies in this PSA 10 holder. So it will upgrade our overall composite score on our alpha set a little bit. There are 290 cards in the alpha checklist. If you want to complete the entire Magic Alpha set, you need 290 cards. There's 2 copies of each of the basic lands, alternate arts. So all the true collectors will try to go for both copies of the basic lands, and then they'll have 295 total cards in the set. But for the set collection, PSA set registry purposes, they only count 1 copy of each of the basic lands. So you have 290 is what you need. And then the cards are weighted. They have a weighted grade point average, GPA as they call it. So the harder cards in the set are harder to get, and they're weighted accordingly. So the Black Lotus is the most expensive, most desirable card in the alpha set. So it has a GPA of 10, a weighted grade point of 10.0. And going down the set, you have Ancestral Recall at 9.0. The Mox Sapphire, which is one of my favorite cards, that is also a 9.0 weighted, difficult to get. Then the rest of the Moxes, Jet, Ruby, Emerald, Pearl, are all 8s, as is the Time Walk in the Power 9, that's also an 8, and then the Time Twister is a 7 on the weighted scale. So if you had a PSA 10 of the Black Lotus, it would multiply that by 10, so your score would be like 100 for that card, and then it gets added up to the total GPA of all the cards in your set registry, and then it's divided by the total by 290, and then that'll tell you what your total GPA is. So going down to the rest of the cards in the set, Underground Sea is weighted a 4 out of 10. It's the most expensive and desirable dual land. The rest of the dual lands are rated 3, weighted. Then Birds of Paradise, you can hear them in the background. Those are also 3.0. Some of the uncommons like Demonic Tutor and Soul Ring, those are 2.0. And then almost all of the commons and uncommons that aren't special or rare are weighted 1.0. So this Fire Elemental is got a GPA weight of 1.0, and this has a grade of a 10. So this adds 10 points to the set, and then when you divide by 290, you get composite score. So I think our average grade is between 9 and 10. It's around 9.671. And so with this slight bump, upgrading this 9 to a 10, this Fire Elemental will make the composite set grade 9.675. So not much difference at all. It just bumps it up 0.004 out of 10 points. So it's really, really hard to make improvements on a graded alpha set unless you're collecting like the Power 9 or the dual lands, the really awesome cards in this set. But this is, I wanted to show you the first of a couple. There's a couple other alphas that I'll be bidding on this month. So hopefully, if you like this content, feel free to subscribe to this channel, and I'll post the other alpha upgrades, graded cards to this channel so you can see kind of like what they look like. We'll do a little discussion about them. I don't have too many BGS cards graded, or CGC cards graded. I don't collect those. I mean, I do purchase them. I do appreciate the authenticity and the guarantee from those two services that the cards are real and accurately graded. But for collection purposes, I like the PSA cards. They take up a little less space in the vault, and you can kind of, and they all fit. They stack nicely, so the different holders still stack together like puzzle pieces. So this is the Fire Elemental PSA 10, 1 of 10. Not the rarest elemental to get in PSA, but probably the 3rd rarest. The other populations on some of the alpha elementals, the Air Elemental, there's 4 copies in a PSA 10, so that's the hardest one to get. The Water Elemental, there's 5 copies in a PSA 10. And I think I have a PSA 9, which there are 14 copies of that water elemental in PSA 9. And the Earth Elemental was by Dan Fraser. There are 12 copies in a PSA 10 holder. We have one of the 12 PSA 10s, and that, you know, you would need those 4 elemental cards if you're trying to make a set of elementals. But I appreciate everybody for watching this video. I'm really happy to add this card to my collection. It's been a while since we've picked up any, you know, PSA graded alphas in 9 or 10. The prices were really expensive for the last couple years, and now that they're coming down just a little bit, it's a good time to kind of collect what you like and add it to your collection. So have a great day. Hope this inspires you to kind of collect your favorite card or your favorite set, and either, you know, share it with your play group and let them know what you're collecting. Have a great day.